Welcome to another Behind the Music. Today we are focusing on the famous Ludwig van Beethoven. Beethoven is most known for being one of the early Romantic composers, but actually his music went through different musical stages in his career. Today we will focus on the three main periods that Beethoven's music went through and the pieces of music that represented them. Let's start with the early period, which was when Beethoven first moved to Vienna to start his career. Beethoven was very influenced by his predecessors Haydn and Mozart, and also the stylized Viennese sound of the time. Beethoven was just trying to make a name for himself and find his voice. Most of his early compositions were string quartets, as they were very popular in Viennese society. He also composed many piano compositions, as piano was his most comfortable instrument, being a pianist himself. It was this time that he composed the Moonlight Sonata. On top of this, Beethoven began writing piano concertos and was very influenced by Mozart's piano concertos. These concertos were his first start to experimenting with writing for orchestra, and his interest in symphonic writing began. As we move to the middle period, most of Beethoven's symphonies were written in this time. His third symphony, Eroica, showed a drastic change from his first two symphonies, which were of a more classical form. The third symphony is known as the first Romantic symphony. In this symphony, the music was a lot more complex with changing key signatures, less patterns, as well as more contrasting themes throughout the symphony, as well as a clearer melody than in the classical period. He also used the trumpet and timpani in a more thematic way instead of just short bursts of notes that was common in the classical period. There is a lot more individual sound to his music in this period, which you can hear by the choice of a French funeral march in the second movement, which was greatly influenced by the French Revolution. Other than his symphonies, more piano concertos, such as his famous Emperor Concerto, Piano Concerto No. 5, which again gave a more romantic style compared to his more classical style in the first period. His concertos were almost symphonies themselves, as the orchestra had equal significance with the soloist. During his last period of Beethoven's composing, he had a great rise to success, but unfortunately his hearing was becoming a big problem, as he was slowly becoming deaf, and so he started to spend more time alone and away from society. His music in this time became a lot more abstract, as well as meditative. In this time period, he is most famous for composing his Ninth Symphony, which was very unique due to the fact he added choir at the end of the piece. On top of this, his musical style was even more complex than his second period, and had contrasting melodies as well as not clear cadences, which was something new. And of course, the whole symphony felt like a build-up to the triumphant ending of Ode to Joy, which will forever celebrate Beethoven as a true master of his work. Thank you for watching, and hope you tune in to another Behind the Music.